we, and by we I mean humans, really don't know anything about World War II. As a global society, right, there were people alive that were in concentration camps. They're still alive right now. They can tell you what was going on. There are people that are alive right now that participated in World War II. But the general knowledge base of most people when it comes to World War II is so garbage that it's honestly, it's depressing to think about. And I'm talking there are mass delusions in regards to World War II that are still prominently being displayed in a lot of places. And this story here shows that the government of Japan, this is, in my opinion, imagine if the German chancellor was like, oh, Hitler's not that bad. Imagine if, what's that guy's name? Olaf Scholz or something. Imagine if Olaf were to go out there, or any German politician were to go out there and tell you Hitler wasn't a fascist. Imagine if a fucking Italian politician would go out there and say Mussolini is a fascist. What? That's offensive, good sir. That's offensive. Well, that's exactly what a Japanese politician did. And this is the dumbest fucking story I have ever seen in my life. This is fucking ridiculously stupid. This is ridiculously fucking stupid. Anger in Japan as Ukraine links Emperor Hirohito to Adolf Hitler. Read this headline. Now, I want to talk to you about Japan and their reckoning with World War II. Hirohito was primarily responsible for World War II and getting Japan involved in the way it did. Anyone who wants to debate that is a fucking moron. Go fuck yourself. Read a book. Okay? But Japan, right, in a deal with the United States, right, Japan kind of basically became a colony of the U.S. for a little bit. Some people would say stuff, but in part of that deal, in negotiating the surrender, right, they wanted to absolve Hirohito of any wrongdoing during World War II, right? Hirohito was still the emperor of Japan in the 1980s. In the 1980s, he was going through motorcades, waving at all of the subjects. And everyone was like, woo! In the 1980s. Right? So what they did was they basically did a fucking shit fuck, right? A rat fuck of epic proportions. Tried to blame World War II all on a government the parliamentarian kind of government that had little to no power before World War II. One of the compromises after World War II with Japan was that the government and the emperor, the government, an elected government, a democratic government, would take control of how the country operates, and the emperor would be relegated to a more ceremonial role. That was what they did. But in doing so, what they did was they whitewashed Hirohito's entire genocidal fascist campaign. What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay? So now, basic history lesson, right? Let's fast forward to yesterday. An official Ukrainian government Twitter account issued an apology after showing a picture of Japan's wartime Emperor Hirohito alongside Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini in a social media video about the defeat of fascism. I'm losing it at this. I am losing it, okay? Our sincere apologies to Japan for this mistake. Let me just go on the Twitter, the tweet here. So an official with the Japanese government said, regarding this problem video, Sato, the chairman of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, has also requested the European Affairs Bureau of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to take immediate action. Because the government of Ukraine wanted to compare Putin to historical fascists such as Mussolini, Hirohito, or Hitler. The government of Japan now wants to sever beneficial relationships or benevolent, with Ukraine because of this. Because they had the audacity to call Hirohito what he is, and a genocidal fascist. That's what he was. Imagine a world where Adolf Hitler didn't kill himself, And Adolf Hitler was relegated to a ceremonial king role. He was just the king of Germany until the 1980s. Like, could you imagine that? Because that's what happened in Japan. That's what happened in Japan. Full stop. And now, even to this day, there are Japanese government officials. Again, imagine if a German politician was like, the concentration camps weren't that big of a deal. Imagine if a German politician said, swastikas, it's not that bad. Get over it. Imagine if a German politician, right, or the head of the, foreign ministry said, you know what, Hitler, pretty based, actually. I like Hitler. don't take that out of context, right? That's basically what the Japanese government did. Fuck yeah, Hitler's my boy. I love Hitler. Hirohito, fuck yeah. I love Hirohito. Like, imagine if a German politician were to be like, oh yeah, Heil Hitler, fuck yeah, I love Hitler. Like, imagine if an Italian politician was like, Mussolini was super cool, actually. But I want to read back into this Bloomberg story. Ukraine apologized for this, which they should not have. They should not have apologized for this. Now, I know why they did, because they were pressured and bullied by a fascist government. If I'm going to be honest, whoever leads the government of Japan, whoever was involved in these decisions, they're fascists. Full stop. They're neo-Nazis. I don't care what other context you want to show me. Anyone who wants to downplay Hirohito's involvement in World War II as a neo-Nazi is a fascist. Full stop. End of story. End of discussion. Shut the fuck up. Right? I think it's perfectly fair to compare Vladimir Putin to the likes of Adolf Hitler or Hirohito or Mussolini, right? I think 100%. Anyone that gets upset by that is a fucking fascist. Full stop. The tweet had circulated widely over the weekend and prompted an official protest from Japan. It also threatened to alienate some conservatives from the Ukrainian cause in a country that has been strongly supportive of Volodymyr Zelensky since the Russian invasion began. Japan has joined its ally, the U.S., and other leading democracies in sanctions against Russian President Vladimir Putin's regime, and has broken with its pacifist tradition by sending non-lethal military equipment to Ukraine. It has also taken the unusual step of opening its doors to a few hundred refugees fleeing the war. Masahisa Sato, the head of the ruling Liberal Democratic Party, Liberal Democrat, I'm sorry, a Liberal Democrat does not say, oh yeah, Benito Mussolini, I love that guy. That's not what a Liberal Democrat does. Zero Liberal Democrats on planet Earth have ever said, oh, Hirohito, I love that guy. He was great. That's not what a Liberal Democrat would say. That's a fascist, okay? That is a neo-Nazi. That is a fascist. That is a genocidal freak who should be in fucking jail somewhere. Should certainly not have political power anywhere. Said Sunday on Twitter, he had urged the foreign ministry to protest to the Ukrainian government. He later added the ministry appeared to have done so and the problematic video was removed. While some Twitter users said they had lost interest in supporting Ukraine over the post. Imagine you support Ukraine all the way up until April 23rd, and then you see the Ukrainian video compared Putin to World War II fascists, and you got triggered. So bad you got triggered that, oh yeah, you know what, now I support the fascists. What? Others said it would have been more appropriate to use a picture of Hideki Tojo, who was Prime Minister of Japan during most of World War II and later hanged as a convicted war criminal. Now again, this was part of a grand historical revisionism scheme to try to lay all the blame on the government that barely had any power during Imperial Japan's, conquest of the world in World War II. These people had barely any power. Now, did they have power? Yes. Should they have been held accountable? Yes. But the goddamn emperor, right, had most of the power during World War II. That was one of the compromises after World War II, right, was that the emperor no longer has that kind of unilateral power. That was kind of one of the big compromises. I don't know what to tell you, okay? These motherfuckers are insane. They are insane. Imagine a world where Adolf Hitler was like, you know what? Actually, I didn't do any of this. It was actually that fucking, what was that guy's name? Like Martin Bormann or whatever? The guy who disappeared in the airplane? When Hitler killed himself, I believe it was Bormann, the second in command, that became the technical head of World War II, Nazi Germany's command for 2 days, and then he disappeared in airspace or something. But anyway, like, imagine if Adolf Hitler didn't kill himself and said, actually, it was the second in command who did everything, and I didn't do it. And then Adolf Hitler was being, like, in motorcades in the 1980s, going, yay, woo, ha, ha, ha! That's what this is. That's what this is. Now, am I saying, right, that the government of Japan that existed during World War II was innocent? No, I'm saying they all had blood on their hands. I'm saying the whole fucking thing was corrupt. What they're saying is that no, the leader actually was not corrupt, and he's actually an innocent little boy, and he did nothing wrong. What? The Japanese public has backed a tough line to punish the Kremlin for the invasion. A poll carried out by the Nikkei newspaper April 22 to 24 found that 42% of respondents said Japan's sanctions against Russia should be made harsher, while 44% said current sanctions were appropriate. More than 62% of respondents say they approve of the government's overall handling of the war. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I really... Like, this shit's fucking insane. I mean, this shit is fucking insane. This is some this is some crazy ass fucking garbage. This is as reprehensible to me as when, like, Democratic politicians and media figures praise George W. Bush. Like, George W. Bush killed 1 million fucking civilians. Innocent, like, non-enemy combatants, non-military trained. 1 million civilians, including thousands of children, were murdered by George W. Bush. And then people go like, oh, yeah, he's great. He's just going out there doing painting. Oh, yeah, oh, fool me once. Woo! That motherfucker is a genocidal freak. He's a fascist fucking loser. He's a lunatic. Right? And that's, Japan has, it literally, like, I cannot wrap my mind around how Japan is still doing this. I really, wow. Like, I thought, like, Hirohito did nothing wrong. I mean, what? Are you joking me? Is this a joke? Is this like some sort of comedy bit? What is this? What am I watching? Is this a fucking joke? These are fascists. This Sato guy, the foreign ministry chairman, is a fascist. Full stop. This guy's a fascist. Anyone who's going to downplay this is a fascist. I'm sorry. Fuck you. Absolutely, unabashedly, go fuck yourself. Fascist, emperor, bootlicker, go fuck yourself. That's what I have to say. Fuck this piece of shit. Fuck the Japanese historical revisionism of their fascist war crimes. Now again, am I saying all Japanese people need to be punished for what their governments did in fucking 1940? No. What I'm saying is, if you're gonna fucking lie about it, you should be fucking held accountable. That's what I'm saying. Imagine if the foreign ministry chair of Germany was like, yeah, Hitler did nothing wrong. It was all fucking Goebbels and Bormann and all those other people. Hitler was a cool guy, actually. He's a vegetarian. Do you know that? Yeah. You know, I actually have a couple paintings of Hitler at my place. He's actually really nice. He loved dogs, actually. Hitler was actually an interesting guy. But it was really the second and third and fourth and fifth. They actually did all the things. The guy in charge, he's a sweet little boy. Didn't do anything. He didn't do nothing. Sweet little boy. Just like Hirohito. This shit's fucking crazy. This shit's fucking crazy, man. That is some crazy shit. That is some crazy fucking shit. That's some crazy, 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 crazy fucking shit.